Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this e-learning lab on Digital TVET and Future Skills course. Today is our first webinar, and I would like first to present you the course team. We have Asma Habeshi, who assisting all this course, the development of the course, but also all the activities of the course. Myself, Noémie Razafmandim, I am the Associate Program Officer of the department who provide the course. And we have two interprets with us, Mirna Tabet and Iyad Wadoumi. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. And we are really pleased to welcome you today at this first webinar. Actually, we are quite few today, but it's normal for the first webinar, and welcome. First of all, in this first webinar, I would like to present you the eCampus, and then I will present you our speaker of the day, who will give us a presentation on the ILO main instruments regarding the e-learning, the digitalization of TVET system. So this course is, as you know, structured around 4 modules. And what will you learn during this training journey? First of all, the course will provide you the essential elements, quick tips and hands-on practices. The objective is, as you know, to enable all the participants to create models into online offer. And coming back, talking about hands-on practice, you will have access on Canvas, e-learning Canvas, where you would be able to create your own online course as an exercise. And you will also benefit the tutoring of our coach, Fatma Feki, who unfortunately can't be joined today, but you will have the opportunity to meet her and to work with her and to receive her guidance, precious guidance on how to complete your exercise. If I may now, I would like to share my screen to show you the eCampus. Since you actually have already access to the eCampus, I can assume that you know how to use it, but just for a quick review and to make sure that everyone has the same comprehension of the use of the eCampus, I would like to share my screen. Can you confirm that you see my screen, please? Yes, okay. With the Arabic course. Okay. So here, let's first see the external environment, I would say, of the course. So this is the title of the course. And then let's familiarize with the structure of the platform. Here you have the modules, the course. And then here you have the people, all the participants. Since I am the manager of the course, I can see this button, but actually if it is the case for the participants. But anyway, the most important for you to know is the course button and then the forum button. And then what else surrounded the course's content? Here we have the learner's guide. I hope that you have the chance to read this learner's guide. The learner's guide gives you all the details on how to run this course and how can you have your training journey successful. I will not present too longer on it because you already have this document that give you a very detailed aspect of the course, but I would like to move to this very important part, which is the completion status. The completion status helps you to monitor your progress on the course. And please, very important, bear in mind that you need to complete at least 60% of the activities of each activities. That means for each module to get your certificate. It's very important. And this part of the eCampus helps you to monitor your progress. Now, regarding the course content, as I said, you have the button here, the course or the content of the course. But before that, let's go to the forum one. It's very important for you as well to check daily the forum, because in this forum, you have two specific purposes. First one, the announcements, where you can see the message from your tutor or from ourselves regarding the new modules or any information that that we have to share with you. So it's very important that you can access here. And contact us is the place where we can exchange and where we can address your inquiries, or if any further questions from your part or any clarifications that you need regarding the course and the platform. Now let's go to the course content. Here you have the module that will be accessible, available for you each week. For the first week, you will have access to the module 1. At the end of each module, you have to complete an assignment. And then the next week, you will have access to the next module. And the opening of each module will be announced to you on the forum, the announcement place here. Now, yeah, I think I did the rounds about the eCampus platform, but now I would like to go further regarding the content of the course. As I said, for each module, you have dynamic lesson, like a learning lecturing content, and then you have also a webinar and a teaching session with our coach Fatma Feki. In each webinars, we will have speakers that will elaborate specific points or an important points of the module, and it's the opportunity for all the participants to interact and to ask questions to our experts. So for today, for this first webinar, I would like to welcome Mrs. Karine Sanogo. I'm sorry, I will stop sharing my screen. I'm sorry. Would anyone have questions about the eCampus before going ahead with the presentation, please? No question. Okay. So now I will stop sharing my screen, and I would like to introduce you Mrs. Karine Sonigo, who is our colleague from ILO, and I will let her to elaborate more about herself and about the presentation that she will provide today. Thank you very much. Karine, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Noémie, and welcome to you all to this first webinar. So my name is Karine Sonigo, and I'm a skills digitalization specialist working at the ILO, as Noémie was saying, at headquarters in Geneva, in the skills and employability branch. And my role is to support our constituents in the digital transformation of their skills development and TVET systems. So I'll try to give you a brief introduction on the broader context around the digital transformation of TVET, and I hope it will give you food for thoughts to introduce this course. So maybe I should begin with saying that this continuing rapid development of digital technologies, those create not only new opportunities, but also challenges for individuals, enterprises, the labor market, and skills development systems alike. And this sweeping but rather unequal digitalization across the world will require a twofold adjustment of the skills systems. Because first, they will have to deliver a solid and yet agile mix of skills that are required for the digital economies and societies, including those digital skills themselves, and that for all citizens. But they will also, and they are also at the moment, in a need to create this enabling environment for a dynamic, active learning over the life cycle to ensure that all citizens, any individual, do keep pace with digitalization. And in that sense, we can say that they have both an effect on the supply and the demand for skills. So let me take you to the demand side of things first. So on the demand side, digitalization and technological development is definitely changing the nature of occupations and the skills that are being required in the different jobs across all economic activities. It's not only for one specific sector or one specific country or continent, it's across the globe and in different sectors. And digital transformation not only means that some jobs will disappear, but also that most existing work tasks within traditional jobs that we all know will be modified. And new skills will be in demand, including those digital skills that we are talking about. And long-standing technical and core skills requirements will also be transformed. So the development we can also say that the development of new forms of work and work organization induced by the use and the constantly increasing use of new technologies also modify firm human resource strategies with respect to training, but also talent development and skill acquisition from the market. They also accelerate job and skill polarization. Real-time data, for example, and data analytics also penetrate the anticipation and matching function of a skill system and require new capabilities of labor market institutions and experts, complementing more traditional labor market information systems with a more timely and dynamic monitoring of changing demand for skills. We can say that it's been, several years since the development of digital skills through education and training with the aim of providing and improving economic and social outcomes has emerged as a real key concern for international organizations. And governments and their development partners do recognize the importance of skills development in lifelong learning in creating a level playing field, which allows for a more equal distribution of the benefits of digitalization within and across societies and economies. The international community has made real strong commitments, including the G20 directive for member states to, and I quote, promote digital literacy and digital skills in all forms of education and lifelong learning. Similarly, the 2016 OECD Ministerial Declaration on the Digital Economy included a strong commitment to enable all people to acquire the skills needed to participate in the digital economy and society through policies that improve the capacity of educational and training systems to identify and respond to the demand for generic, transversal, and specialist digital skills that facilitate upskilling and reskilling through lifelong learning and on-the-job training, and that promote digital literacy together with the inclusive and effective use of ICTs in education and training. So in order to meet the challenge of translating the demand for digital skills into the required skills for current and future workforce, the educational and training systems should definitely adhere to baseline principles and policy measures. And I would mention some of them, such as ensuring that the correct mix of basic core work and technical skills are taken as a foundation for the further development of digital skills through lifelong learning. Make sure that teaching methods to deliver digital and core work skills are being reoriented and reshuffled in the digital economy and society. Make sure that the right tools are given to the teachers and trainers and to the educational staff in general. That TVET curricula and TVET staff continuous professional development are being adapted. That we make sure that strategies for effective lifelong learning are being supported. That policies and other labor market policies are integrated with skills development policies, and that developing countries are supported in overcoming barriers to digitalization. Now, let's make a focus specifically on the supply side of skills development systems. And on the supply side, changes in the modalities of access and learning, assessment, and certification are definitely being driven by the increasing use of digital technologies. I would mention some of them, saying that the use of open educational resources, for example, and the development of massive online open courses, blended learning options are introducing more flexible learning pathways. The application of digital technologies through immersive technology tools, gamification, artificial intelligence, and machine learning in education and training are supporting the development of new pedagogies and improved monitoring of the teaching and learning processes. Technology is also transforming work-based learning and apprenticeships, facilitating more informal variants, such as virtual internships, for example, and other mentored learning programs. It's also having an impact on multi-channeled career guidance, self-help services, and digital portfolio, which enable individual-centered learning and empower the self-employed. New forms of certification, including digital online credentials, micro-credentials, and open and online badges, for example, support enhanced skills recognition, including the outcomes of non-formal and informal learning, while connecting learner records and securing data through blockchain facilitates enhanced mobility and portability of skills for learners and workers. So in this context, employment and skills systems have both external and internal pressure. They have to respond to this external demand for skills, and skills development system have to adapt. And secondly, as other sectors do, and NASA, as I said, they have to engage themselves in this digital transformation and the challenges that present to institutions and staff. So whilst there is no real standard approach to undertake such a digital transition in employment and skills systems, There are still some, key principles that we've identified when it comes to leveraging technologies for the digital transformation of TVET systems. First, I'd like to emphasize that social inclusion should be the key focus of any digital transition strategy and tools design. For each of those high-level functions of a skills systems, it's necessary to consider the local capacity building and development of all stakeholders and actors to make sure technologies are used for good and to serve individuals' needs according to their own capacity to use them. And it's mainly about looking at infrastructure, equipment, skills, and attitude, and what all of them are in terms of readiness and maturity locally. A user-centric approach combined with universal design has the capacity to really improve inclusive approaches to skills development and access to the labor market. Thus, avoiding excluding further already marginalized and disadvantaged groups, and only leveraging on technology whenever it has value to enhance all or part of the learning and teaching experience. Second, and although digitalization, as you know, has been an emergency response to the health crisis in many countries, it has been widely considered to be unsatisfactory and unsustainable. So today, and this course is also a response to it, the time has come for a more strategic and integrated approach to the digital transformation of national skills system and skills development systems, that should be viewed rather as a whole, involving, and we'll discuss that during this course, involving a relative complexity in the structures and a wide range of stakeholders that really needs to be considered in the digital era. It is necessary to refresh discussion and inform professional dialogue about the national TVET and skills system as a whole, and how the application of digital technologies can really increase quality and relevance without negatively affecting access and equitable outcomes. Third, and this is something that you all have noticed, I can imagine, digitalization and the use of technologies in TVET changes roles for everyone. Implementing a learning management system, whether that be at a national or institution level, together with adopting an industry-based national curriculum, for example, will inevitably change what may be considered the traditional role of a trainer. Rather than, working on its own as an individual agent who will prepare, teach, and assess, their own courses, they are more likely to be working in a collaborative team environment with potentially externally administered curricula, shared teaching materials prepared by other trainers and teachers, and interacting with a range of specialists in IT, in data analytics, in labor market information system, in learning design or assessment. So it means that building digitalization capability requires a workforce development approach that does not only include, short courses for trainers on how to use and apply digital technologies in education and training, but really that looks at not only operating those tools, but learning those new processes, as well as describing the competencies for the changed and new roles that are being defined. Trainers, as well as learners, need to be data literate. They need to understand what is the added value of online technologies and how they can be leveraged for more efficiency and to be able to operate in a safe online environment. So to become real actors of such a transformation, to be engaged in it, instructors definitely need pre and in-service training to understand the basics of technology such as AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, data protection, blockchain, so they are empowered in their own professional development and can become data-driven decision makers, which is critical. Last, but it should be explicitly addressed as a key measure to be part of any digitalization or digital transformation strategy. And although the process of digitalizations often involves the setting up of a new tool, of new solutions, online solutions, the key impact is on how work is performed, work processes that are always changed and often disrupted. All types of stakeholders should be involved from the early stages of the design of the solution. And changes to work processes often require the design of work roles, which changes skills requirements and require staff development, as I was saying. Individually, people need to be empowered and understand what is at stake. And ideally, I should say, the discussion about process redesign and expected improvements and benefits out of it will have taken place before and during the IT procurement stage, for example, so that there is a rollout plan that includes training and evaluation. Change management also requires the involvement of key stakeholders in defining the implementation processes and selecting solutions. This is not only true for IT teams who necessarily need to be involved at the earlier stage, but also true for any type of stakeholders and actors in this new digital ecosystem who need to be part of the solution definition and implementation process. And I should mention first and foremost, the end users, the learners, the end beneficiaries of those solutions. So to conclude, I may say that, taking into consideration all of those key principles that I've just mentioned, the digital transition in TVET and skills development systems requires a strategic approach to it, supporting changes in all the areas of the system for all types of actors, and strengthening the role and importance of a cross-ministries consultation and social dialogue with the workforce, as well as ensuring minimizing the digital carbon footprint and guaranteeing that digital inclusion is part of any decision making to ensure a more effective, sustainable, and inclusive systems in the future. Thank you very much. And the floor is back to you, Noemi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karine, for this very comprehensive explanation. I hope that our participants, I see a new participants who joined later, but I would like to say before anything else that this webinar will be recorded and will be available on the eCampus platform. But now we have the chance to interact and to ask directly our question to Karine. So please, dear participants, the floor is yours. You can raise your hand or open your mic and then ask your question. Thank you. Would anyone would like to take the floor? Okay, if we don't have questions, maybe we can, it's an opportunity for us to know each other as well. If you would like to introduce yourself, please, and share a little bit on which sector you are working on or you are involved in, and why this course interested you, just for sharing among us. Thank you. May we start with Asid Al-Rayes? I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Everybody's quite shy today.
Feel free to unmute yourselves, because maybe you're trying to say something, but we can't hear you.
Yes, please. The mic of
أهلا وسهلا. مرحبا.
Hello.
أسيل تفضلي. أهلا. أسيل الريس، المملكة العربية السعودية، وزارة الموارد البشرية والتنمية الاجتماعية. لفت نظري هذه الدورة بمسماها، طبعا لأنه الفترة الأخيرة أصبح من المهم المهارات التقنية والرقمية، خاصة بعد وباء كورونا. فأنا حريصة إنه يعني أتعلم فيها أكثر وأتعرف عليها أكثر، وهذا الجزء مهم جدا بالنسبة لي، وإن شاء الله تكون يعني الدورة ممتعة بإذن الله، وشكرا كريم.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's this course will help you to create your own online content as an e-learning, I mean. So yes, I think that you will enjoy it, and the particular advantage is that you will benefit tutorial or coaching from specialists on the course on how to create your online content, how to transform your face-to-face content into an online content. So it's a very hands-on that, and you can take away tips that you can apply immediately in your daily use of on this topic. Amen. Thank you. Anyone else would like to continue? May I ask Talal Al-Tukair?
Yes, hello, good evening, everybody. Actually, it's here, it's evening in Kuwait. I'm from I work at the Public Authority of Manpower, and I'm actually the head of training planning courses. I've joined this course to really know how we can deliver the new online courses for our trainers. And I believe it will be so interested. And thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. You will continue, and then maybe after everyone finished to introduce themselves, we can add a little conclusion on the presentation of Karin regarding the diversity of our participants. May we continue with Fahad, please?
السلام عليكم. فهد القاسم من المملكة العربية السعودية، أعمل في المؤسسة العامة للتدريب التقني والمهني، أعمل كمستشار في قطاع التخطيط وتطوير الأعمال. يهمني جدا حضور مثل هذه الدورات بحكم يعني عملي السابق في التدريب التقني والمهني كمدرب، وأيضا كمدير، إلى أن أصبحت مستشار في هذا المجال. يهمني جدا يعني أن يكون عندي تصور واضح الآن احنا في عالم متسارع من ناحية تطور في المهارات، وخصوصا المهارات الرقمية. يهمنا جدا أن نواكب هذا التطور المتسارع من جانبنا احنا في التفت في التدريب التقني والمهني. كيف نقدر نعمل موائمة ما بين التطور المتسارع في المهارات وما بين ما نعرضه من برامج وتخصصات ومهارات في جابس الآن. كيف نقدر نغطي هذه الفجوات الموجودة حاليا؟ فهذا واحد من الأسباب اللي حمستني كثير لحضور هذه الدورة.
Thank you very much and nice to meet you, Fahed. Let's continue with Mohammed, please. Mohammed Al-Sagre, the first who joined actually.
مساء الخير جميعا. محمد الصقري من المملكة العربية السعودية، مدرب المؤسسة العامة للتدريب التقني والمهني. انجذابي للدورة كونها تتعلق بمجال العمل بشكل مباشر، والرقمنة مهمة لعملية التدريب، وأيضا كما ذكر أحد الزملاء التحول للتعليم الإلكتروني بعد جائحة كورونا أو أثناء جائحة كورونا زاد من الحاجة لتطوير المهارات في هذا المجال. فبالتالي كونها مرتبطة مباشرة في مجال عملي، هذا سر انجذابي لتطوير مهاراتي في هذا المجال. وشكرا جزيلا.
Thank you very much. And maybe the last one before going back to a few words from Karin, Mohamed Houdna from Bahrain, if I'm not mistaken. You can open your mic and yeah, please go ahead.
نعم، السلام عليكم. محمد هدنة من المكتب التنفيذي لمجلس وزراء العمل بدون مجلس التعاون الخليجي. في الحقيقة احنا منظمين معاكم الدورة هذه، وفي نفس الوقت كاهتمام شخصي حبيت أحضر الدورة للاستفادة في مجال المهارات، وخاصة أن كما ذكر الزملاء يعني الباب واسع الآن لهذا الجانب التدريب للحاق بالركب المتسارع في تطور التقنية. نتمنى لكم التوفيق، ونشكر أيضا مكتب بيروت على التنسيق معنا لإعداد هذه الدورة. يعطيكم العافية. شكرا.
Thank you very much and nice to meet you all. We are not all here today, but it's a pleasure for us to welcome you on this first webinar. Maybe, Karin, what do you think about the diversity of our participants and their expectations about the course? And also, if you can say a few words on the link on the ILO guidance on the subject.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Noemi. So very nice to be meeting you all. And as you said, Noemi, it's great to see the diversity of participants who are joining the course. Both, officers from Ministry of Labor and TVET institutions. And what it confirms is that we all had a rather short-term panic response during the COVID-19 pandemic and the health crisis in general, where we had to cope with, distancing measures and the fact that we could not, meet in person. And I think everybody, took what any solution that was at hand and that could be used to cope with this situation that was imposed to all of us. And so really today and this course is an opportunity for that. Is really time to take a step backward and try to have a more integrated strategic response to the need for online learning. Make sure that we, as I sometimes say, have a more needs-based approach rather than a solutions-based approach. So rather than, as I said, pick the solutions that are at hand and try to respond to our needs with that. Rather, as I said, take a step backward and look at really what are the needs that each of you have. Who is your target audience? What are you wishing to do with technologies? And then look at potential solutions to cover them, rather than, the other way around, take the solution and try to use it in a way that is, covering your needs. So that's one thing that is really important and that I think should be the focus of this course. Not, solutions-based, not look at online tools per se, but rather look at the needs that you have and then identify the appropriate solutions. And one of the main reasons for this is that if you're not doing that, you have a high risk of not meeting your users, your learners eventually, because you would use solutions that are really not the ones that they are capable of using, or that they are or the ones that they have the skills and maturity to use. So it's definitely critical in that respect. Yes, I really think that this course will be a great opportunity to learn more, not only from the participants and learners of this course, but also, for the organizers of this course, to be able to hear from the needs and experiences from the participants and really see how we can all together, make progress and continue to adapt TVET to the digital era. And in that sense, I think that the course is a real, opportunity for sharing in terms of experience, for peer learning as well, because you all have already experienced, online and distance learning. So it will be great to hear from you in that respect and see what works and what does not work to continue learning in a lifelong learning perspective too. Thank you, Noemi.
Thank you very much, Karine. I think you summarized very well the course, but also the presentation today. And I particularly appreciate the note. I noticed that in every digitalization related course, we insist loudly on the fact that humans are behind this transformation, and we can't just rely on the technology, but we should first oriented our offer to the human needs. So it's actually a very important point, and thank you for that. If anyone doesn't have further questions regarding this topic we discussed today, maybe I will just ask last time if anyone would like to come up with the questions or observations about the topic before closing our webinar today. I don't see neither hand, neither open mic. So I think that everything was clear. And as I said, you can still access to this video on the eCampus platform, and do not hesitate to direct your questions to us on the forum in the platform as well. So we wish you a very rich training journey, and see you next week with another topic again. And thank you, Karine, for your availability and for your presentation and your dedication. Thank you, everyone.
My pleasure. Talk to you soon. Thank you, everyone.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.